So for those of you guys that are watching this on the replay, we're super excited that you had an opportunity to join us. I know that a lot of you guys are working right now, and so some of you might be on your lunch break. So if you're eating, I hope you guys are taking good notes. My commitment to you guys in 2020 is to make sure that I pour into you guys as much as possible, because there is a skill set to becoming a network marketing professional. The good news, like we talk about all the time, is that it doesn't take or require massive amounts of skills. There's only about 7, but we've got to become professionals at that. So for some of you guys that might be new, once again, my name is Mario, my wife Stephanie. Her and I have been with the company 13 months now. We hit the rank of diamond in our first 90 days. And it's just been an awesome time, and we're loving every step of the way. But we are so excited about what's happening right now with our team. There's a lot of new people coming on, a lot of new, excited, fired up people having home meetings, having CBD parties, asking all the awesome questions. And we're bringing in a lot of new people just before convention. So those two things combined, guys, can explode your business. But before we get into the information, there's 3 things that I want to continue to reiterate to you guys, right? There's 3 types of people in network marketing, right? We call them posers, amateurs, and professionals, okay? So what's the difference in each of those, okay? And so it's real simple, right? A poser, okay, before we get there, every single skill set we have, right, you're going to have these 3 categories. So what if it's recruiting, right, which is what we're going to talk about today. As a recruiter, there's 3 different ways that you can look at being a recruiter. You can look at it like a poser, right? You can look at it like an amateur, or you look at it like a professional. See, a poser does this. A poser says, all right, let me see it. This whole deal makes sense. I think I got about 3 or 4 friends that, man, if they get started, watch out, man, right? A poser uses their network marketing business or their Viseo business like a lottery ticket, right? They put one toe in, they try to get the most out of this for the least amount of time and effort. Okay, so that's what a poser does, right? Now, an amateur, okay, an amateur is a little different. An amateur now, they're willing to maybe put forth a little bit more effort, but what an amateur does is an amateur focuses on shortcuts, right? They're always looking for an angle. They're always trying to figure out what is a better way to do it. Like, oh man, I bet you nobody's ever thought about this. I bet you nobody's ever thought about that, or nobody's ever really thought about doing it this way, so I'm going to try this and I'm going to try that, instead of just focusing on the proven method and the proven model in our space. Now, that's not to say, guys, that online marketing is not a good thing. Guys, I actually own a business where we actually do online marketing, okay, on Facebook, Instagram, social media platforms. But in our space as Viseo brand partners, there is nothing better, okay, than excited, fired up, everyday average people like you and I, right? Because when you give somebody an awesome product that they love, right, like Core Complete, Renew, CBD, right, V-Slim, V3, they're finding results. It's impacting their life. There's nothing better than somebody who has a testimony, has a dream in their heart, and that is willing to go out and talk to friends and family. There's nothing better, okay? So an amateur is somebody who's always looking for an angle, always looking for a shortcut instead of just focusing on the fundamentals. And a professional is the person that respects the industry, somebody that respects the skill set. So the skill set we're going to talk about today is recruiting. So a professional respects the fact that, hey, I have to be a professional recruiter. And I'm not going to try to take a shortcut. I'm not going to try to find the one person, right? I understand that just like in any business, I have to look at it like a business. And so my hope today, guys, is that you change your philosophy on recruiting. And the reason behind that, right? What does Rita stand for? How many of you guys remember what Rita stands for? Now, I know Rita Carmona is on the actual Zoom today, but what does Rita stand for? How many of you guys remember what Rita stands for? Type that into the box there. Let's see. Let's see. Man, has it been that long? There we go. Recruiting is the answer. Rita, recruiting is the answer, guys. And see, it's really important, guys, that we understand that recruiting really is the answer for us. And I have a bunch of recruiters, they're scouts there, right? Wearing my baseball hat today. And so let's talk about that. Why is recruiting a bad word? I think it's because at its core, it causes people to get into their, their uncomfortable space, right? It forces people to do something they're not comfortable with. It also exposes people, right? See, because a lot of times people get started in their Viseo business and they love the concept. Maybe they love our mission, blessing 1 million lives through products. They love Dallin. They love the products. And they know that recruiting is an important part of their business. But if they don't do it, then they don't have to expose themselves to the outside world that, hey, I'm in one of those things. So there's a lot of reasons why recruiting is a bad word. Not to mention, guys, we all know people who have tried to recruit and they've just done a really bad job of it, right? How many of you guys know somebody who has tried to recruit you to a network marketing company and they were just really bad at it? Like either they left a bad taste in your mouth, they were really, really pushy, right? They were even arrogant, right? So yeah, Rayanne, I see you there. Dr. T, yes, Jason, okay, yeah. So it's not just me, right? We all know that people have tried to recruit us in the past and they were just really bad at it. And so what it does is it just leaves this bad taste in somebody's mouth. But my hope today, guys, is that we get over this fear of recruiting together, okay? So before we kind of dive into it, I want to set the table, guys. Who actually recruits? Let's think about this, guys. Churches, synagogues, mosques, all major religions in the world are recruiting, right? It's funny because I know that, there's this thing that's going around right now in our society where people are like, oh, religion is bad. Religion is at the core of every, major conflict or whatever, right? I don't necessarily agree with that at all, to be honest. Organized religion maybe. But then you say, well, that's why I'm an agnostic, right? And that's why I believe in a higher power, right? Whatever it is. And we don't force it on anybody. But just the simple fact that you're sharing with me why X is bad and this is good, what are you doing? You're recruiting, right? You're trying to win somebody to your side. But every single church recruits, right? We always say that, oh, somebody wants to doodle today, so let's go over there and erase that. Every single person recruits, okay? And so you think about that, when you look at, I tell people all the time, the best recruiter of all time was Jesus. He recruited 12 people. How many of you guys heard me say less to more people, right? Jesus had the simplest message ever. Hey, follow me. But it was because of who he was that people dropped everything and then followed Jesus, right? Why did they drop everything and follow Jesus? Because of who he was. There's a training there on personal development, guys. If you want to be more, if you want more, you have to be more, right? Nobody was more as a person than Jesus. So because of his testimony and who he was, all you had to do was preach a simple message and everybody followed, right? So we always say Jesus has the biggest downline in the world. He frontlined 12. He had 12 personal sponsors. One quit. So if you're worried right now that, man, I have people that are quitting, listen, even Jesus had somebody who quit, and he still has the biggest downline in the world, right? But all the major militaries of the world recruit. You think about it, guys. Be all you can be. Right? How many of you guys remember growing up, at least for me, right? I'm 39, I'll be 40 this year. And, I remember growing up and I actually idolized the military. I thought that the military were amazing. But I also grew up in the G.I. Joe era. So, Yo Joe and knowing is half the battle, right? But every day well, this was the day before, the way before the days of DVR, we watched commercials. And remember, we would see commercials all the time, right? We would see recruiting offices everywhere. We used to have, military come to our school and talk to us, but they were recruiting. Sports. How many of you guys have kids in sports? Put your hand, type of number 5 if you have kids that are in sports right now, okay? It doesn't matter if it's swimming, tennis, softball, football, basketball, volleyball. Do you have kids that are in sports, okay? Now, what do most parents want, for their kids in sports, right? It's okay. You can say you want your kids to win. Nobody here is going to shame you. It's okay that you say you want your kids to be on the best teams. It's okay that you want them to maybe get a scholarship so that they can go to college. But what happens in sports? They recruit like crazy. The NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL, Major League Soccer, right? Even in the junior leagues, okay? I have a cousin who his little boy plays or is a golfer. He's actually phenomenal. He'll beat the snot out of me, and he's like 10, okay? This little boy is getting letters from colleges at 10 years old. By the way, if you do want your kid to go to a sport, go to college to play a sport, you probably want to look into golf because there's just not anybody in that sport as far as kids are concerned. And there's hundreds of million playing baseball, football, and basketball. So the odds kind of go, if he's good, right, goes in his favor. Everybody's recruiting. And it's funny because even the person who hates recruiting loves the fact that their kid's getting recruited to go to a Division I high school to play baseball, football, basketball, run track, or swim. Am I wrong? Right? When somebody says, oh my gosh, Levi's getting recruited, I'm going to be fired up, right? I'm going to be like, oh, yes, he's getting recruited. So why is recruiting a bad word in your business? Music. Right? Every producer, every label is always out there, right? Looking for new talent, the latest artist, the next big thing, the next Drake, okay? And I'm trying to help you to understand this because even in business, guys, it's there. Think about this, colleges. How many of you know that colleges are competitive, right? They're trying to get people in, especially when you're going to the top, to the top tiered colleges, right? There's only a certain amount of scholarships, so it's competitive, right? And they also want to get the best students. So they're going out there and they're sending out letters and they're, visiting. That's my background, education, right? You know how many ed fairs I went to? And we would show up and we knew that there were certain students that we wanted to talk to and certain ones that we could care less because we wanted to recruit the best of the best, right? So colleges, think about business, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Wall Street, tech companies, all of these companies recruit, right? See? So yeah, exactly. So excited. So Kathy is sharing, she has a nephew who got recruited to go to Ohio State. Were you jacked? Absolutely. Okay. So it's funny because sometimes all we have to do is go through an exercise like this and you probably you see light bulbs kind of going off like, man, everybody recruits. The last one that I don't have here, but that I always usually say is if you're in a relationship, you either recruited somebody or you got recruited. And so most of you know my wife, and you know how good of a recruiter I am simply because I figured out a way to convince her to marry me and then also to stay with me. So I'm a very good salesman. But see, that's the idea. So let's all together decide that today I'm no longer going to think of recruiting as a bad thing. Recruiting is something that we need to do, something that everybody does, but why do we recruit? Now we're going to narrow it down a little bit more into our space. Simple, to bring new business. It doesn't matter, guys, if you're a real estate professional, if you an insurance professional, if you are, if you sell door-to-door solar sales, it doesn't matter what you do. When you go out there, the goal is to bring in new business. And new business is needed when? Every single day, right? And so to bring in new business means that you're bringing in new people, which means there's new excitement, there's new zeal, okay? There's new networks, right? New customers. Think about this. How excited were you when you first started? Okay, I'm going to just tell you an example. So if you are a leader, which I hope all of you would say I'm a leader, okay, type in a number 2 if you've had an encounter with somebody on your team that's been around for a little while and you're trying to like get them excited again. You're trying to like give them that fire. Like, man, come on, let's go. Let's do this. Have you ever had that conversation? Let's see. Right, number two, Jason, yep, Jackie, yep, Cassie, yep, okay. Kathy put like 17 number 2s on there, right? So, you know, you get the point, right? We get the point that, yes, we're trying to get people excited. Here's what I'll tell you. I just got off the phone with one of our brand new brand partners. I'm going to give her a shout out, Ryan Munoz. Just got started this last week in Whittier, California. I believe she got started. Her meeting was on Tuesday. Today is now Thursday. And we're going to do a meeting on Monday at her home. Was it difficult to get me to say, hey, let's have a party? No. Why? Because she's excited. She's jacked. See, so many of us guys go out there and this is what we say, okay? Sorry, oh, Janelle said her messages were set private. So many of us get caught up. See, why is Rita the answer? Because the simple answer to why is Rita the answer to everything, why is recruiting the answer, is because recruiting solves all problems. Here's a problem. Mario, my people aren't motivated. Mario, my people aren't excited. I got to get back. I got to get things back moving again. Bring in a new person. Whoa. It's very simple because they're excited. I don't have to pull teeth to get somebody to want to run when they just got started because they're excited. They're like, oh my gosh, the possibilities. And I knew the minute I finished the presentation that Rayanne is going to run, right? Because when I sat with her, she was like, oh my gosh, my wheels are turning. If you're a leader, do you want to work with somebody that says my wheels are turning and puts a meeting on the book in 3 days? Or do you want to have to call the same person over and over again and remind them of their why and tell them, right? So recruiting is the answer, okay? Always, because you want to get new blood. You want to get new people, right? Because you start the fire from the bottom up. So let me give you guys a scenario, right? Because in a binary, everybody benefits. So this is the reason why I have this. I want to draw this out for you real quick. Now, you guys know I work from home. You guys also know that my kids come in here all the time and they play with the markers and they don't always snap them back right. So the first marker try is always like a lotto ticket here. Let's see if it actually works. So yes. Okay, so that's not a good circle though. It's kind of light. But anyways, so let's say somebody gets started, right? And you are brand new, okay? And you bring in somebody here and somebody here, right? So you got one on your right, one on your left. Let's say this person gets started today. But you didn't say, all right, Mara, I got my one on my right, one on my left. I'm done. You keep going. Even though you have people on your team, you still have the mind of, man, I've got to go out and find as many people as possible because that's what I need to do to be successful here with Viseo, okay? So think about this, okay? Let's say your new person let's say his name is Joe, okay? So Joe gets started and he does his 24-hour training, and on his game plan call, right, where we set his home meeting and we start talking about how to approach people, I say, oh, by the way, Joe, I put a gal on your team named Mary last night. He's going to be like, what? What does that mean? Yeah, you recruited Mary, Joe, and Sam. Now, you have 2 people that you brought in at the same party. One is named Joe, one is named Sam, okay? Think about this. They both did their 24-hour. There's Joe. They both did their 24-hour training, okay? They're both on their game plan call. But when you talked to Joe, you told him that you put Mary underneath him. Talking to Sam, you didn't get the same, give him the same news. Who do you think is more excited, Joe or Sam? Let's put it in there. Is Joe more excited or is Sam more excited? Because why? Even though Joe didn't recruit Mary, Mary's business is under Joe. So whatever Mary does, Joe benefits from on his right leg. Do you see how that works, guys, in the binary? Okay. Let me know if, and I'm not sure if you guys are working or whatever. Right, Joe. Okay, so absolutely, we know that we start the fire from the bottom up. So for those of you guys right now that have people that are kind of like, kind of sitting in the water, the answer is not to go and call them and try to pull teeth. The answer is to go and bring Mary in. Because we always talk about this, but it's true, okay? Think about this. In the Bible, there's only maybe 2 examples of people that were raised from the dead, but there are thousands of births. So what does that mean? That means that it's much easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead. So I want to give you permission today to stop trying to raise the dead. Just go give birth. Because if you're going to wake up somebody who's not really excited right now, the only way you're going to do it, if there's a shot, is by putting new blood underneath them, okay? But with that being said, right, it keeps people engaged as well. See, because let's say Joe, okay, he gets started, does his training. When you do your game plan call, he says, listen, Mario, I'm going to be out of town for 2 weeks for my job. So I really can't do anything. But when I'm back, right, I'm ready to rock. Okay, cool. So I go in to help Mary. Mary puts in 2 people. This person puts in 1. This person puts in 1. You bring in another one. Now there's all these people under Joe. Now Joe keeps, even though he's not doing anything because he's on a trip or whatever, he keeps peeking at his back office, and that left leg keeps getting bigger and bigger, or that right leg keeps getting bigger and bigger. Do you think he's going to stay locked in? Yes, right? And so that's the beauty of the binary, okay? Now, the solution, again, for all problems is recruiting. You're going to get more customers. If you need to get more customers, go and recruit, because your no's become customers. Right? You need to get some more meetings on the book, more parties on the books. Go and recruit, because new people are going to say, yeah, I'd love to have a party. Actually, like 5 people that I want to show this to already, right? Low attendance at events, go bring in some new people. Are you having drama on your team? Okay? This is an important one, because here's the deal, guys. People ask me all the time, they're like, Mario, what's the absolute best thing about network marketing? I said, easy, people, because I love people. What's the worst thing about network marketing? Easy, people, because people are nuts. How many of you can agree that people are kind of nuts? Okay, yes. What I've learned is whenever there becomes drama on your team, it's usually because people have idle hands. And when people have idle hands, their hands start getting itchy. And then they start wanting to make excuses as to the reason why there's no business. Then they start blaming their upline, their sideline, right? They start blaming the events. They say there's no money in the comp plan. They say that the products don't work. Here's what I know. Every single time we're in momentum, new people are joining, nobody has time to worry about that, because we're like, dude, did you see how many people came in? Yeah. Every time we see each other at an event, we're like, what's up, brother? How's it going? Yeah, man. Are you almost close to gold? Yeah, it's so cool. So if you're having drama on your team, go bring in some new people, right? And it's the fix-all, end-all, be-all. So Rita is always the answer. But let's talk about the mindset of a recruiter, right? The GOAT, greatest ball player of all time, Michael Jordan, okay? I think nobody has a better mindset than he did, right? But here's what I want you guys to understand. There is a mindset that you have to have. There's certain things that you have to understand. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Most people will not get it. So I'm going to have you say this. I'm going to say this again. Most people will not get this thing. They will not understand it. They will not see the bigger picture, okay? What you will find, though, okay, is that people will get it. You just have to go through enough people that don't. So if you're just starting out, this is what I want you to say, okay? If we have 10 people and only 2 get it, that's normal. Don't look at the 8 that say no, just look at the 2 that say yes. So for every 10, 2 will like it, 1 will start. That's what I want you to say. For every 10, 2 will like it, 1 will start. For every 10, 2 will like it, 1 will start. So if those are your numbers, how many people do you have to talk to get 10 brand new people? Let's see if I remember that. Let's see if anybody's good at math. if for every 10, okay, let's see, here we go. 100, absolutely. Okay, 100. If you know that for every 10 people you talk to, 2 people will get it, 1 will get started, you have to talk to 100 people to get 10 brand new people. But if you can get 10 brand new people in a 30-day period, your business will go freaking gangbusters, okay? Most people are okay with being okay, and that's okay, right? I love the fact that Kathy is on, because Kathy is like my sister from another mister, okay? Kathy and I are like right here. I can read Kathy's face, and sometimes Kathy, she's like, oh, I want it so bad for people. And when I first got started, I used to get angry when people didn't want to join me, when people didn't get it, or when people would say things like, well, that looks like a scam. I'd be like, oh, come here and let me grab your neck real quick and I'm going to punch you in the mouth. Like, what do you mean a scam? See, guys, what happens is people are just okay with being okay, and we have to be okay with that. This is the mind of a recruiter. Listen, Mario, I think that's a scam. Awesome. Talk to you later, bro. Oh, Mario, you know, me and my mom and my dad, we all came over here because we want to pray with you. We think that you're in a cult. Yes, please pray for me. Man, I will take all the prayer I can get. Deuce, I'm out of here, right? I don't care. Because ultimately, whatever they tell you guys, it's only to cover up the fact or to justify that people are okay with being okay. And we're okay with that, right? Most people are okay with being average. And that's another thing you have to understand. That's why 10, 2 will get it, 1 will join, right? 10, 2 will get it, 1 will join, because most people are okay with being okay. Most people are okay being average, and most people will not get it. So we're looking for the lookers, right? I want to go out there and find somebody who's hungry. And if you guys have heard me do any meetings lately, that's one of the things that I say, guys, this is not for everybody. And that's okay. If you're here today and you just want to buy a little cream and so you can start moving your arm again at the gym, we love you. But if you're like us, if you're a dreamer, if you're fired up, if you got that MJ mentality, that's who we want, right? So Jim Rohn, who we know is the godfather of network marketing, if you're brand new or you don't know who that is, Jim Rohn has a famous speech called Building Your Network Marketing Business. I suggest you listen to that a million times, okay? When I first got started in network marketing, I listened to Building Your Network Marketing Business on a CD in my car, probably every day, all day, because every time the car was on, it was on, probably for like 2-3 months, okay? He said, hey, listen, this is how he used to tell his friends, hey, listen, 3 out of 10 people join my business. You can go ahead and be a part of the 7. Just take a look anyways. I don't care either way. He'd say, look at 3 out of 10 get in. You can be part of the 7. Just take a look. That's the mind of a sorter. I don't care if you're the 3 or the 7, but I just got to get 10 to take a look at it. That's just the way the numbers work. He had so much faith in the numbers that you just were able to go through that, okay? Now, here's some crazy stats. 95% of people will be broke by the age of 65 years old. That's crazy, guys. Think about that. Think about our own families, okay? 9 out of 10 people by the age of 65 will be dead, broke, or relying on somebody else to live. That's scary, guys. That's exactly why we see people in our own families that live with their, children. We see people in our own communities that, are working. They're in their 70s and they're working at Walmart, right? Guys, that's not right. I don't think that that's how God designed us to be. But for a number of reasons, which we can do an entire training on, right? Understanding money, understanding wealth, savings, tithing, multiple streams. For a number of reasons, people find themselves broke, dead broke, or living with somebody else by the age of 65. So what I mean by that, guys, is that the mind of the recruiter understands that there's so many people out there that need us. I don't care if you think I'm in a scam or I'm in a scheme. I had somebody tell me the other day, guys, some of you guys know that, this is just me being transparent, okay? We all have character traits. I'm what you would consider like a type A, or if you know the colors, I'm a red, right? What is the type of that's an analytical type? Maybe some of you guys know that. Or what's the color for the person who's analytical? okay? I'll tell you while you guys put that up. For the person who's extremely analytical, let's see, yellow, okay, yellow, okay? So for the person who's a yellow, you guys may already know this. Sometimes a red and a yellow don't mix. They're like this. I had a yellow the other day, and she saw the information in a meeting. We tried on the product with her. She absolutely loved it. And I said, cool, I'll follow up with you tomorrow. She said, sure. When I spoke to her, this was a new one. She said, I have quite a few concerns. I said, okay, let's go. One of them, which I think is just crazy, Mario, I could not find Monavi's revenue on any of their years online. I went to the IRS website. I went to, and I was like, huh? Yeah, I'm very concerned with this, very concerned. And I'm like, a company that's been gone for 10 years? What? Huh? Why am I sharing this with you guys? Because it's not for everybody. Really quick, I literally just told her, you know what? I just don't think we're the right fit for you. Because in our industry, it's okay to be a yellow, but if you're somebody who is just not a trusting type of person, this is a people business. You've got to be willing to trust people, okay? So the mind of a recruiter is somebody, okay, who understands that there's so many people out there. Let's not get caught in the weeds. And I told her it's not for you. It's okay for you to release somebody. I always say, bless and release. Hey, God bless you. I hope the best for you and your family. Release. That's it. Let's keep on moving. There's too many people that need our products. There's too many people who need financial help. So recruiting is a process, guys. And here's what I want you to understand. Fortune is in the follow-up. Very important. Okay, some of you guys are new, so you might not have heard this story, but let me tell you how powerful follow-up is. Okay, so I took a look at Viseo when it first opened 2 years ago. And I did because I've been a professional in this industry for a long time. And how do you not know who Dallin Larson is, right? So when we all heard in the industry, hey, Dallin's coming back, everybody's ears perked up, including mine. I was like, wow, okay, well, geez. I mean, if MJ decides to lace up his sneakers again, you want to know why, okay? So took a look at Viseo. They actually didn't have the full product line when they rolled out. They had a smaller product line. They didn't have CBD. So I literally, this was the equivalent of me taking a look at Viseo. It was like 2 seconds. I knew what I was looking for, and it wasn't there. There was no pop. There was no boom, right? That's where CBD came in. So I had already made my mind up about Viseo. Now, I had a gentleman that I knew, young guy named John Lewis, love him to death. He was on my team in another company. He lives in Shreveport. He's from Shreveport, Louisiana, lives in Florida, all of 25 years old, okay, single guy. And he kept dripping on me. He'd say, hey, man, what do you think about Viseo? I just got started. No, I'm good, bro. I already take a look at it. A couple months later, he'd be like, Mario, how are you, bro? Just wanted to let you know that I've been thinking about you. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, man, how are you, bro? Oh, it's good. Da-da-da. Hey, man, I'm still doing work here in Viseo, man, rolling out some cool products. Wanted to see if you're open at all to take a look. No, man, I already took a look. Thanks, brother. Boom, that's it. So in that process, I put it out there that I was looking for a CBD company. I don't know if somebody told him or he saw on social media, but he called me and he said, Mario, listen, I want you to get on the phone with Ricky Untermeyer. He's my upline. I just want you to hear his story. And at first, I said, I was like a little bit open to it because I was like, the most important thing you could have is somebody's phone number. Ricky is a multi-million-dollar builder, and I'm not in Viseo. I want his number because maybe down the road I could try to recruit him. So I said, yeah, of course, yeah, I'll talk to him. He said, not to mention, I said, but I'm not going to join, bro. Okay, because I've already taken a look at Viseo, but I definitely would I'll take a call. And he said, no, I want you to also take a call because Viseo is going to be rolling out a product and I think you're going to really like it. And I said, well, is it CBD? And he said, that I can't tell you, but I will tell you that you're going to like it. And I said, okay, so it's CBD. That I can't tell you, but I'm going to tell you that you're going to like it. I said, okay, fine. Get on the phone with Ricky. Ricky puts me on the phone with Dallin. Dallin flies me to his house. I join. Okay. My wife and I make $400,000 in our first year. We put over almost 4,000 people into the team. And John Lewis, who's not a big time network marketer, okay, young guy, fortune is in the follow-up. He kept following up. I was on his follow-up sheet, okay? And it's very important that you guys understand that, okay? So as we continue to move forward, timing is so important. And sometimes it's more about them and less about your approach. I think so many times, guys, we get caught up worrying about our approach. We get caught up worrying about the way we have to approach somebody, right? Oh man, Mario, this guy owns a bunch of gyms, so we can't talk to him about network marketing. Oh man, Mario, this guy's a doctor, or this gal has a PhD, or oh man, this one's a lawyer. Guys, it's not about the way we approach it. We have a pretty darn good system. It's about having more lines in the water, right? Put the CBD bait on and throw it in the water, throw it in the water, throw it in the water. Because what happens is it's also timing, right? Timing. And I tell people this all the time. Again, for those of you that are new, when I first got started in the network marketing profession over 10 years ago, I'll tell you my backstory. 29 years old, I was just under $200,000 a year in corporate America. My wife was a stay-at-home mom for 2 years. We had a 3,700 square foot home here in Eastville. I drove a BMW, and I was in sales. And my boss said, Mario, if you hit your goal by Wednesday, I don't need to see you Thursday or Friday. I was like, you had me at hello. So I actually used to usually take Fridays off in golf. So if we were friends and you joined a network marketing company, you would prejudge me. Right? You'd probably say, oh, you know, Mario, that arrogant SOB, he's always at the golf course, and you know, he's got a massive house. Your wife stays home. I'm not going to approach him. But what I tell people all the time is this: 6-7 months before I got laid off, I was told that I was going to get laid off. I had a friend, or actually a cousin, who told me, hey, listen, I could get fired for telling you this, but I want you to get your ducks in a row. So in that 6 to 7 month spot, if you would have threw a line in the water and just say, hey man, are you looking to supplement your income? What do you think about the CBD boom? I would have bid, and you could have recruited me. But what most of you do is judge. And I want you to get away from that, okay? The average person needs at least 3 to 6 exposures before they join. See, what I think a lot of us do as well is we throw it out there and they say, oh, not right now, not the good time. Dang it. No, it's okay. Hey, can I call you back in about a month? Don't be afraid to say that. I'll make it 2. No worries, because I'm going to be in the business 2 months from now, and I'm going to call you, right? Hey, no worries, brother. You know, thanks for taking the time. Because it's always about, you know, multiple exposures. Why? Because each one of us join for different reasons. For instance, let's say you get somebody on a connect call with me. For those of you guys that take calls with me, you know that I talk very much about the business. So let's say I like your prospect likes what they hear, but that's not what's going to trigger their buy. It makes sense. They've tried the product, so they like it and they're open, but maybe they just didn't resonate with me because I talk a lot about business, right? So then you say, hey, listen, just talking. I'll give you one example. Right now, I'm actually recruiting a gal to our team that's a big time builder. And I've had her, I sent her, I put her on a connect call, sent her videos 1 year ago when I got started. Okay, she's in my book, which we're going to get to. I have a book. It's a black book, and it has names in it. So I hit her again. Hey, Happy New Year. What are you doing? We started talking. Turns out she's open. She said, yeah, I've been watching you. And I'm like, you want to talk? She's like, yeah, let's do it. I got on the phone with her. Then I got her on the phone 2 days later with Ricky. She loved it. Then I got her on the phone with Daniel. She loved it. And when she was talking with Daniel, she made a comment that I was listening. Daniel PQ, our president, she said, yeah, I was talking to this team, this other company, and they have a really good system. And that's really important to me because I like that everybody's able to win. So I was like, ding, 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 ding. So when we got off the phone, I said, hey, I want to put you on the phone with Francoise. See, Francoise Untermeyer, our upline Black Diamond, is the one who created our system. They got on the phone last night at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, and those two gabbed for like 50 minutes. They were just like they were like bouncing off of each other. It took me like 4 or 5 calls, and I even joked with her. I said, listen, I'm going to send you the packages. Even when you send people info, that's an exposure. There's different touches. Maybe a phone call is 1, a video is 2, getting them some samples is 3, getting them on another phone call is 4, sending them a YouTube video is 5, right? So everybody buys for different reasons, and you've got to be okay with fortune, and the follow-up is taking them through that process. And you always schedule an exposure at the end of the exposure. So last night, I get her off the phone with Francoise, and I said, listen, I'm going to send you the packages. What time do you want to talk tomorrow to go over any questions? She said, let's talk at this time. So I end an exposure with an exposure. So this is what I want you guys to think about. Every single person you talk to, the idea is not will they join or will they not. The idea is how many exposures do I need to put this person through? Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 8? Is it going to be a 1-month exposure process, or like me, a 2-year exposure process? It's very important that you understand that. Recruiting is a process. And it's almost like the courting process as well. Think about this. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, hopefully you guys still court one another, right? But if you're a single person or you just started, you know there's a courting process. If they come on too strong, you're like, easy there, bruh, right? Back it up. Or if they're not coming on strong enough, you're like, what? Maybe they don't like me. Like, there's a process. Recruiting is like a courting process. So I want you to understand that when you're talking to people, don't be too hard. Be creative. Think about, I'm trying to pique their interest. I'm trying to bait them in a little bit so that but everybody's different, okay? Now, I want you to allow it to be organic as well, right? If somebody says, Mari, I like what you're doing, and I'll give you an example. I'm moving, guys. By the way, how many of you guys are excited about the 2020 contest? Does everybody know about the 2020 contest? If you don't know about the 2020 contest, 2020 Vision Contest, type a 2020 in there. If there's people on here who don't know what the 2020 contest is, type it in there, okay? Awesome. So nobody's typing, so that means you all know. Oh, okay, so some of you guys do. Don't. Okay, so don't let this out, Dr. T, okay? It's going to be rolled out in Orlando, but basically there's going to be some more finalized details, okay? But basically here's the gist. For anybody that enrolls 20 people on your right and 20 people on your left, for the entire year, you're going to get an all expenses paid trip to New York City, okay, for New Year's to watch the ball drop, but Dallin Larson style. We're not going to go, and this is, and I quote what Dallin said, we're not going to be down there wearing diapers, peeing on ourselves, okay? We are going to be, we're going to be in a private suite where one side of the entire deal is wide open to the entire Times Square. We're going to watch the ball drop with catered food, drinks, and he probably said he wants to go see a show. He wants to go to the Rockettes. I guess at the end of the Rockettes show, they do a manger scene, which is pretty cool. It's freaking insane, okay? So check this out, guys. You know how serious I am about this? Look at Steph did this for me yesterday. New York. Look at y'all, didn't know Steph's a little artist, okay? 20 on your right, 20 on your left. I'm already at 4, okay? Now, or excuse me, 3. But I have 4. See, number 4 is a gentleman that I've known for a while. And what I mean by let it be organic, he was ready to rock. He's like, I'm in. And then he asked me a question. He said, hey, Mario, what's the difference if I get started right now or if I wait till next Wednesday? And I said, well, really no difference other than the fact that I'm going crazy and you want to get people, you want to get in first because you're going to inherit people from me because I'm going 20 deep on the right. And he was like, okay, all right, man, well, I'm in because I had already other people to bring in. Then it wasn't until the next morning, midday, he still hadn't sent me his info to get started. So I texted him like, yo, is everything okay, bro? And he said, yeah, man, you know what? I'm going to have to wait until next Wednesday. And I was like, oh, okay, no worries. And he said, yeah, no. And I said, oh, cool. Here's what I did. I set up an exposure with an exposure. He's never been in network marketing before. You know what I did? I said, hey, brother, in the meantime, can I send you some things so you start learning the industry? He's like, yeah, you know what I sent him? I sent him an audiobook, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I said, are you an audio guy? He goes, oh, I love audiobooks. I also sent him Jim Rohn's Building Your Network Marketing Business on YouTube. And I'm continuously following up with him to keep him engaged until next Wednesday. But let it be organic, right? Don't be like, no, right now is the only time you can get started. No, because next week I'm going to want him to get started, okay? Because I got to go 20 deep on my right, 20 deep on my left. Be intentional, okay? What you do every day matters. And guys, let me tell you, okay, have urgency. It's okay to allow somebody to go to next week, but it's also okay to say to somebody, listen, I don't put pressure on people, but I know people. People generally put off for later what they could do today, and I would encourage you not to do that because next week's going to have next week's problems. So let's just get you locked in right now. Let's make a commitment to you and your family right now. Don't be afraid to have that, okay? Now, here's the other thing. Have a freaking prospecting list. This is so important, guys. That literally is a replica of my prospecting list, okay? This is the lifeblood of your business, guys. And so the first thing I want you to understand, okay, is that there is value in grabbing a book, keeping it with you, and always writing in it, okay? You think about this. Treat your list with respect. Some of you guys right now are like, man, Mario, like, I want Viseo to work so bad. Okay, where's your list? Oh, it's on my phone. And it's caught in a bunch of notes and it probably has 2 people on it. Or do you have a list? Oh, yeah. And you're like flipping through a bunch of crap and I wrote, and you have like 10 lists all over. If you treat your list with respect, that's why I always encourage you to go get a nice one, okay? But think about this. If you're a songwriter, if you're a poet, or if you're just an author, or even your diary, you treat that thing with respect, right? Because those are your thoughts. You're pouring your emotions and your soul into these lists. But the lifeblood of your business in Viseo, you have it on napkins if you have it at all, okay? Very important, guys. How would a salesperson in any industry treat their leads? If you guys have ever been in sales, you know how important the leads are, okay? I had leads back in the day in corporate, and they were paper copies. Do you think I would just leave them on my desk? No. At the end of every day, I put them in my drawer under lock and key because that was the lifeblood of my business. Again, but some of us don't even have a book, don't even have something. I always say spend a few bucks on it. There's a difference between a little book that says like Allstate insurance that you got free at a marketing event or one that looks like this that you spent $25, $30 on that's leather bound and you got a wrap on it. There's a difference. You respect it different. You treat it different, okay? Always write down your personal prospects immediately. Here's what I've learned, and this is me being transparent, okay? Do you know how many prospects I've just forgotten about? Somebody hits me up on Facebook. Hey, man, I want to talk about what you got going on, and I'm in a meeting. So I'm like, yeah, bro, for sure. I'm in a meeting right now. Let's talk later. Put it back in my phone, and 3 weeks later, I'm like, oh, my God, I forgot to call so-and-so. Has that ever happened to any one of you guys? Whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, just general text. I've had texts just be gone. I don't know where they're at. My wife tells me, hey, babe, somebody hit me up on Instagram and they want you to give them a call back. Oh, who is it? Oh, it's Jason so-and-so. Okay, yeah, I'll hit him up. And if I don't write it down in my book that I treat with respect, I will forget. Huge deal, guys. Review this list at least every other day. Because what happens is you remember these people are going through different processes. So as I look down, I'm like, ooh, Jason, I told him I was going to send him a video. Boom, and I follow up. And I do it, okay? Now, this stuff is simple, but it's gold. Okay, constantly update your prospecting list. This is important. Add 2 people to your list every day. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're reaching out to those people, but just constantly be adding people to your list every single day. That should be your goal. Be intentional about that. Spend time on that. Professionals are always looking, and I'm kind of speeding up because we're coming up to our 1 hour mark, and I want to be respectful every time. There will never be a time where you aren't looking. That's the other thing, guys. An amateur says, hey, look it, let's write this lotto ticket. Hopefully I hit it big, right? You're not going to be a diamond and enroll 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. I've had people say, yeah, okay, tomorrow my business is moving. When do I have to stop like recruiting people? Never, ever, ever. Because just like in any business, you need new business all the time, okay? Now, 2020 vision, we already covered that, okay? Raise your awareness. This one's very important, guys. Recruit while walking around. I think that most of us, especially those of you that live in California, how many of you know that Californians are just not really friendly? They're kind of like New Yorkers, right? We don't look at people in the eye, right? We don't go out of our way to help people. We just kind of keep to ourselves. If we just started raising our eyes up and, I always say, be known for the person that's always smiling. I smile at people at the gym. I'm being intentional about it, okay? And I can do that, by the way, guys, because I work out with my wife every day. So if I smile at a girl, I'm not being a creep. My wife's right there, okay? So these are the things that I think about because I'm intentional. But when I'm at the gym, especially guys, right? Guys out, how many of you guys out here that are lifting, right? When you're at the gym, you just finish a set, right? Everybody walks around like this. Everybody's walking around with their arms up. You can't see me. Everybody's walking around like this at the gym, okay? People don't look at each other. And when they do, they have this face on them, right? I always look at people. And if they see me, I kind of give them one of these. I always want to be known as the guy who's happy-go-lucky, the person that because if I do like this every day to somebody, what's up, brother? Give them some pound, and then I show up with a CBD shirt one day, they're gonna be okay to come to me. They can be like, "Hey, bro, what's up? Hey, so what do you do? Sell CBD? Oh yeah, man, right?" Always be looking around, right? Look at people around you, the mall, the server, the gym, etc. There's people everywhere, okay? Get out into your community, guys. Always have samples with you. I can't tell you how many people have joined our team because somebody had a sample on them. Very important. Ask about them. This is another thing. The one question that I'm challenging myself in 2020 to start asking people is, what are you passionate about? But even when I get on Connect calls now, because Daniel PQ does this all the time, and I love what he does. So whenever I introduce Daniel PQ to somebody on a phone call, he'll say, "Oh, okay, cool. So I see, I see Cheryl stuck here, okay?" So he says, "Oh, so Cheryl, tell me about yourself. Like, where do you live? What gets you up in the morning? What fires you up? What's your passion?" That's the first question he asks. So when I talk to people, right, I want to say, "Hey, so tell me, so what's your passion?" Let's say you're talking to somebody. How many of us have had a really good server, right? We all do. We've all had a really good server. And usually, I don't know about you, but I tell them, "Man, you're really good, bro. Thanks, man. Appreciate it." So, is this like your passion, or are you just kind of working here to kind of pay the bills? Kind of a stupid question. No, I'm passionate about being a server. It's just, when I was a kid, I said I want to be a server when I grow up. There's nothing wrong with being a server, but most servers are there to pay the bills because it's an honest living. Okay? Is this what you're passionate about, or no, not really, man. Just it pays the bills or whatever. Awesome, So a lot of times when you ask people that, it's kind of an awkward question. So they'll kind of be inquisitive as to why you ask that. Well, I mean, what about you, man? What do you do? Got him. My wife and I just helped launch a CBD product, and it's been awesome. Not sure if you're open, but we're always looking for people who want to partner up. Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? Well, listen, right now is not the time, but look, let me shoot you my number, man. Maybe we can jump on a call tomorrow. Okay, yeah, I'm down. Perfect. You know how easy that was? But because we're raising our awareness, start talking to people, okay? Be inquisitive about them, okay? And with that being said, guys, we are done for this session, okay? And so it's my hope that you guys were able to really see recruiting in a different way. It's my hope that you understand that in order to get where you want to be with your Viseo business, you want to wrap your arms around recruiting. Don't look at it like, "Oh, I hate this thing. I hate getting people." Guys, we get people in everything we do, right? If you have a party and nobody shows, are you mad? Does it hurt you? Yeah. When you spend the time to have a party, aren't you recruiting? Like, I've had parties and then I'm hitting my boys up, "Yo, you guys coming by or what?" "Yeah." "All right, man, cool. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, dude. Like, I'm recruiting. I want them to come. We recruit everywhere in our life, and we're going to recruit everywhere in our life till the day we die. Let's monetize it. Let's bless people. Put them in the system. And guys, that's it. 12:57. Kept it on the dot. We're going to record it. I'll have it converted, put on our YouTube channel. Love you guys. Have a great day. And we'll see you guys here in Orlando very soon. Bye-bye.